I just want to tell you what an incredible honor and privilege it is to be standing before you today. I cannot tell you exactly all the feelings that are going through my heart right now, which is pounding about 90 miles an hour. But I do want to start out first and just say thank you to just a couple of people. And I just want to say thank you to my family, to my husband and my boys. Thank you for being my biggest cheerleader. And to Dr. Stevens and the school board, thank you for making a one-time award be the gift that keeps on giving. Thank you. My family appreciates it as well, so thank you very much. On August the 27th, which is not very far away, thousands of students are going to walk through our doors. And they're going to walk through our doors with more than supplies and backpacks. They are going to actually walk through our doors with life stories. And those life stories are going to tell us who they are, why they do the things they do, why they do the things that drive us crazy occasionally. But those life stories are also going to be composed of two things, greatness and weakness, but never perfection. And because our students are going to walk in with those things, we have to be prepared. Because they're going to require something of us that's different than what the tax narrative requires. From what they're going to require of us is grace. That act of giving our students what they don't deserve, but what can totally transform their lives. Many years ago, when I taught junior high, the electric chihuahuas, I had a young lady named Angela. And Angela was one of those kids, and when I describe her, you will probably have that picture in your mind as well of that student that you've had, that fought in the lunchroom, talked back to teachers, cheated on tests, until one day when I just had the opportunity, and it was just such a small window, to give her grace. And all of a sudden, I saw a young lady begin to dream way beyond the walls of her impoverished upbringing. But on the flip side of that, not too long ago, I had an 11th grade AP student. And he was on the opposite end of the spectrum. He was completely stressed out because he had too many opportunities. It was the stress of succeeding. And he came to my room one morning and he said, "Ms. Ray, I've fallen so far behind in your class, along with my other classes. And right now, I am just living under a black cloud." And in that moment, one of two things could have happened. I could have either said, "Well, you need to get it together, and I hope you do." But that certainly was not what came to my mind, and I'm confident it wouldn't have come to yours either. Because I said to him, "You are worth more than a GPA, an SAT, or an ACT score." And we worked out a plan for him to get caught up in class. And from that moment forward, his attitude transformed, and he went on to graduate at the top of his class. You know what? It doesn't matter whether kids are limited by poverty or they are overwhelmed by opportunity for success. We are all in need of grace. We are all in need of grace. And how do we begin to surprise our students with grace? Well, you already know this secret. It's the same secret that I know, that rules don't change hearts, but relationships do. The rules don't change hearts, but relationships do. And it begins when we, as teachers, as educators, as bus drivers, as maintenance crew, whoever we are in this school system, when we just simply take note of a student. And boy, can they not make it hard for us to earn a relationship with them at times? Woo! We can work really hard. And I had one of those students this year who walked through my doors, and of course, I'm talking with my hands, and I'm welcoming you, and I'm so glad you're here. And here he came. No response, no eye contact, no nothing. Walked to the far corner of the room, sat down, slunk down in his desk, you know what I'm talking about, and would have probably pulled the hood over his head had he had one on. But every day when he came in, it was almost like a challenge. And I just thought, I am going to connect with this kid one way or the other. So he would come to the door, and I would just make a simple observation. "Hey, looks like you got new shoes. Hey, looks like you got your hair cut differently." And then one day, magic happened. And before I could say anything, 3 words came out of his mouth that made me do the happy dance. "Hey, Mrs. Ray." It was just one of those moments, and you know that moment as a teacher. You know that moment where you have just gone, oh, finally, I've arrived. And from that moment forward, we had a connection. And I will tell you the truth, he was not doing well at the beginning of the year. He was not doing well. But by the end of the year, the kid had turned around, and I believe it was simply because of grace. But I think we as teachers also, we have an incredible responsibility, because part of grace is seeing beyond who kids are at the moment. Because if we only looked at them at the moment, well, they might not see tomorrow. But we have, it's almost like teachers, unlike any other profession, have been given this crystal ball. And we're able to look at the smallest child, the pre-K, the first grader, the second grader, and we are able to look in there and we are able to see the potential that they have for the future. I don't think any other profession does that. Because that's what we're always looking towards, is the future for these kids. But along with that crystal ball and what we see comes the opportunity to call them up and to call them out to be world changers. Because every kid has a chance to change the world. Every single one of them. And we are the ones who stand before them every day, and have the power within us to call them up and call them out. As we read books like Savage Inequalities, we can say, we need teachers in impoverished schools. You've been given some opportunities that those kids haven't. We need you to be a teacher. As we go ahead and read JFK's inaugural address, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Come on, be a citizen, raise up, be a leader. We need you. You are our future, and we have that opportunity. Every single day. But I think the final act of grace that we can give kids is this. We can give them the grace of remembering that they're just kids. And sometimes I confess, as an AP teacher, that's hard to do. You're teaching them you're supposed to be teaching them way up here at a college level, and the work is way up here, and the amount of work is way up here, and you're thinking, why can't you get yourself together? And then that moment, that aha moment comes, and you go, oh, because you're 17. And everything that comes with being 17 is what you're dealing with right now. The complexities of dating, the expectations of parent, all of your worth is defined by 3-letter acronyms. Is it any wonder that you're acting the way you do right now? But here's what I've discovered, that when I have that aha moment and that gap is closed between my unrealistic expectations and reality, wow, I enjoy them. They are so funny, they are so witty, they are so creative, they are so inquisitive and curious, and it is my joy as a teacher. My joy every single day as a teacher to just love them and give them grace right where they are. But here's the last thing I would say. The truth is this. Everybody is surprised by grace. It's not just limited to our students. Everybody has a story, and everybody is surprised by grace. We are all in need of it. Every single one of us. And whether it's the teacher down the hall, the administrator, in the hallway, whether it's the bus driver, the parent on the phone, whether it is the leaders at the ESC, we are all in need of someone to give us what we don't deserve. Forgiveness, kindness, compassion, grace. And we have the power within each one of us to give this incredible gift to our students and to each other, the gift of grace. Thank you.